Hello and welcome to your December 2025 um, mentoring call. So today on these calls, you can ask me anything you want. You can bring a case and workshop it, whatever you need. This is your time to get the most of it. I have 26 years of experience in here, and trying to get it all out to you I do the best I can, but I always like drop pearls when somebody says something because I don't it's if you don't need it at the time, you won't remember it. So whatever you need now, just ask away. I'm here for you. I want to help you. So ask away. How can I help?
So I'm feeling the same way. I have all of this stuff in my mind, and I'm like, what do I say when I'm talked to, those kinds of things. I mean, it's really probably really stupid, but I probably know. Um, but it's like there's just a lot of unknown too.
Yeah. So first of all, there is no right or wrong when you have conversations with attorneys. There just isn't. You know, unless you say you have a meth lab in your basement or something completely inappropriate, you don't have to. There is no right or wrong. So don't worry about getting it right. If they have a need and they find and your services can benefit them, they're going to say yes. So keep it easy on yourself. Don't overthink it. You can do this.
So if they ask us something and we don't know, is it okay to tell them that we will find out for them?
Absolutely. I say this
Okay.
all the time in law school. Um, hey Sally Kay, welcome.
Hey.
Sally Kay's our newest. In fact, let me answer this question and then we'll let Sally introduce herself. Um, I always say this in law school. We have a class called moot court, and we do an oral argument before a pretend court of appeals, and they always tell us if one of the appellate judges asks you something and you don't have the answer, you just say, Your Honor, let me research it and get back to you and write a brief, and I'll have it to you in 10 days. So attorneys don't expect you to have all the answers, especially off the top of your head. So it is totally fine to just say, let me research it and get back to you. Totally fine. You don't need all the answers. They don't have them. In fact, if a client asked them a medical question, they would have no clue, right? That's why
Mhm.
they teach you. So yeah, don't overthink it. You're just making friends and you have everything you need. So I always say go back to a beginner's mindset. When you were a new nurse, could you hit the ground running? No, but you were safe, right? And then you had your mentor to ask questions. So go back to that. Remember when you were a beginner. Just go back to and use the beginner's mindset for this because you will grow. You will grow exponentially and trust yourself. Remember, the attorneys, you have such superior knowledge than the attorneys. I don't care how many med mal cases they've had. There are those attorneys that think they know it all and that they can be a doctor, but they can't. They haven't seen the things that we see. So trust yourself. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sally, welcome. Sally is brand new. She just joined us on Friday and she took the biz school. So Sally, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Sally Kay. I live in southern Utah, down by St. George, just 2 hours from Vegas. I am a medical oncology nurse by profession. That's where I've spent most of my time, but the last 4 or 5 years, I've been a hospice nurse. I started this, it'll be 2 years in January when I took an LNC course, and it's been a marathon. It's not a sprint, is it? I am working part-time, but it's kind of full-time, but part-time for a firm in Florida that is a defense firm. And they do a ton of assisted living, skilled nursing, SNFs, defense side. I'm learning a ton. It's a whole different ballgame. They know what they like. They have like 400 and something cases, and there's like 12 attorneys. I personally right now have 47 cases. I can't keep up and it's overwhelming and it's a little stressful, but I'm learning a lot. But I really want to build my own business.
Yeah.
I get cases here and there, but nothing consistent. And so my goal would be to leave this part-time firm job and to do my own thing. And I am going to get courageous because it's really down deep. I'm a scaredy cat. And I was telling Lori, I said, I feel like I can't sell myself. And so I just need to be brave, be courageous, follow the plan. And what's the worst they can say is no, right?
Right. Trust the process.
Anyway, and then I
Trust the
still work
process.
hospice on call at night. It just keeps me grounded and fills my bucket.
Oh,
I'm down here in Mexico right now. We're building a home down here for the last 2 years down by
wow.
Cabo. And so that's where I'm at right at this moment. But
Oh, I love Cabo.
I love that. I love this career choice because I want to be able to work remote wherever I'm at.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. So meet Krista. Krista does long-term care, but she also does expert work in that area. And I saw that attorney wrote you back, Krista. So that's very cool.
Yes, excited. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other person, Sally, for you to connect with, Sally K, is Susan Hybeck. She does oncology. So yeah, we have to, get you out of like the $40 to $50 an hour and get you to be paid what you deserve. Okay, and Eleanor, I'm glad you can hear. It's nice to
I
see your
know I
beautiful
can hear
face.
now.
Yay.
You know how I am.
There's your buddy.
I'm good.
Ah, okay. All right. So who else? Who else has questions? The more you ask, the more you get. I can't read your mind and know what you want, have questions about.
Lori,
Yeah.
since he emailed me back, I sent him my CV and a sample work product. But I need to revise my fee schedule. This attorney is in Indiana. What is a fair price in that state per hour?
To do expert work or, behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes.
Okay, I never give a fee schedule for behind the scenes. I always ask
Okay.
them what their budget is. And again, you don't want to, like, if I'm an attorney and I get a CV from one person and a CV from another, and she's 150 an hour, and you're 200, I'm gonna choose
Right.
the 150. Okay.
Sure.
And I just think that that the hourly rate is artificial, because um if you only charge 100 and you take 20 hours to do the case, I charge 200 and I take 10 hours, what difference does it make, right?
Right.
So I would just say I work within your budget and your deadline, so you can get the work when you want it and get it done within your budget.
Okay.
Okay. And then if they ask what the hourly rate is, I always tell them. And then I say, however, I think it's deceiving because of, and I just shared the example, and I always share that, and
Okay.
they'll agree, if, and they'll agree. So just don't, the hourly rate, of course, I keep track of my hours and my time and bill for it, but I want to stay within their budget.
Right.
And
Okay.
the other reason why I do it that way is because the attorney's biggest complaint is getting surprised by a big bill.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in those long-term care cases where the records are voluminous. And,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of legal nurse consultants overwork the case. I even see it in our group when I give people like a review for merit, but they'll say it doesn't have, this case does not have merit, that the doctor met the standard of care, and I just do plaintiff's work. So, but then they go and give me the research to show why they met the standard of care. And I'm like, why are you spending your time doing the defense's research? If you
Right.
tell me it's not a case, I'm not going to file it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So on that, I have a question.
Mhm.
So I came from a program that taught us to do an estimate. And that's how I've always sent to the attorney, based on how many pages I should be able to do an hour, which is always half of that. Most of the time, I mean, double that. But so is that bad? I take how many pages and then
I would ask them what their budget is. And then if they say, like, I just did this, I've got this case and there's tons of records, and honestly, they don't have very much meat in them. As a couple of people in this group are doing it. Vina, how long did it take you to do that work product? You're on mute.
About 4 hours for the whole
Okay.
thing.
Okay, and and that was just one part of it. But the attorney, you know, when I asked what's her budget, she said, do you think you can get it done for under 20,000? Now, $20,000 is 1,000 hours at 200 an hour. There's no way on earth that we're gonna spend 1,000 hours on this thing. But for her, in her mind, it's overwhelming because there's tons and tons of records, and how do you put them together? So I always ask the person, what's your budget? And then if they say, I don't know, and I would say, well, how long would it take you to do it? And of course, you know, it would take them a million times longer than we would do it. And so then if I say, well, how many pages are there? They'll say, is under 2,000 okay? And they're more than happy with that, okay? And then again, you know, they really don't care. The hourly rate really isn't the issue. It is, you know, what is their budget? That's the important thing. Okay. And when I come in under 20,000, Bill, she is going to be so happy. So happy. So that's what you want to do.
Okay, so but on that note, when you do figure out what you spent on that, like, you know, this nurse did 4 hours and this nurse 3. So do you times it by your hourly rate?
Mhm.
And then come up with, because that this case that she said under 20,000 might come up at $5,000 or something. I mean,
Right, exactly. And it probably will. I'm thinking 4 or 5,000.
so you'll do that. You're okay, because I always find I give them the estimate based on how many pages I think I can do an hour, and then it always ends up taking me twice as long. But I'm like, that's not their fault. That's
Right.
my fault. But this
So
policy,
I would let them give you the estimate. Let them
okay,
give you the budget, and then just say, I will do everything I can to stay within your budget, but if I need more time, I'm going to let you know and let you know why.
okay, that is amazing. Okay, that is a whole different. But that
Yeah.
makes sense to me. I can't believe
Good.
20,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's worth to her to have it done too. So
Yeah.
that tells you a lot about how these attorneys think about you and how worthy you are, you know? And if they're want to give me 20,000, yeah, sure, I'd take it, but no, I won't take
No.
it if I didn't, you know, work the 1,000 hours.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know. I'm going to try that.
Good. Okay. All right. Who else? Ask away, please. Because you wouldn't have had that breakthrough, Sally, if we didn't talk about this, right? Sally
Mhm.
Kay.
Okay. Just tell me to shut up when it's my turn to shut
No,
up.
no,
But
please ask away. Everybody's learning from you, aren't
how,
you? Yeah.
when you send your finished product back, I find that 9 times out of 10, almost 9.5 times out of 10, they never, you know, because I'll say, let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to, if it doesn't look right, if you know, and there's like crickets. So people have told me, well, you don't hear from them. That's good news, because if they weren't happy, they would let you know.
Or they would never hire you back again. So I always say, after you do a work product, call in 2 weeks, give them 2 weeks, but bill when you do the work product. I can't even imagine how, I mean, billing is my least favorite thing in the world to do. And I would forget if I didn't bill right away. So you're not people pleasers anymore. You did a job, you deserve to get paid. And I came up with this analogy the other day when I was talking to people. If somebody comes to paint your house, are you gonna and they're gonna send you the bill right away? They're not gonna say, are you happy with the work? Then you can pay me. No, they're not. You know, they're gonna send you their bill. So send the bill right away. And that's completely fine, but still follow up in 2 weeks and see if they were happy with the work product. And then do they have any other cases for you? If no, ask them for a testimonial letter. And who else do they know? Okay. And then ask them if you can check back in with them again in 30 days. Okay. It's really simple. It's very formulaic. And the idea here is like, Carla, she's going to be exhibiting in Montana, and I'm super excited for her because one of my other clients exhibited in a state It was actually during COVID. It wasn't even her state. And she exhibited, and it was the first legal nurse consultant that they ever had exhibit. And they were so happy to have her. And she built her whole exhibit or her whole business by that exhibit, because these attorneys were like, wow, you can do that. You know, they were so happy.
Okay,
But anyways,
I would like to know more about that, because I've done 3 exhibits with another LNC. We did it together because she does more of the life care planning, though she LNC. We have the best booth every time. Everybody's like, you have the best booth of everybody. We had games, prizes, decorated to the help.
Good.
I have never gotten one client.
Did you
from those.
follow up?
Yes, they gave us the email list and sent out, and she did too. I mean, she's very professional. And she only had one attorney get back with her that really wanted to take her out on a date.
Oh,
She's beautiful. I mean, she's really beautiful. But so I was like, what are we doing wrong? And in Utah, they're really conservative here, to be honest. But I just don't know what the trick was to that. Her success.
the trick, well, read the exhibiting guidelines. There's like a 32-page exhibiting guideline in there. But it's all in the follow-up. And I mean, if you probably just followed up once or twice by email, right? You got to vary it. You got to call, you got to email, you got to send letter. Always send a thank you note. Thank you for coming to my booth. There is everything that I do, there is an art to it. There's like there's a strategy underneath it. And so most people exhibit don't do it right, and they don't follow up properly. So I guarantee you, if you follow the exhibiting guideline, follow up every other day until you reach them, then you'll get success.
Okay, one more thought. So when we exhibited at these 3 different places, it was the exhibiting rules that you could only email them one time.
I'm not telling you to email. I'm telling you to get their information, and you can call them and email them as much as you want if they stop at your booth. Yeah. There's 2 things that we have at the booth. One is the giveaway and the other is the raffle. And you want to get them to enter the raffle so that you have their information. You're in charge of the leads. And then if an attorney comes up to you and says, have you done, personal injury cases? You're going to write on the back of his information, PI, and anything you learn about them. I mean, your goal is just to make friends. Okay. And then take it. And then if somebody says, I'd like to work with you, I'm like, hey, you know, what's a good time? I got my calendar right here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, you probably just emailed once, right? And that was it. Yeah, no, you have to call every other day, email, send we like handwritten thank you cards. They get past the gatekeeper. There's lots of tricks to do, but you got to keep after them.
Okay, I just didn't know if I'd be going against the rules of the association.
If you collect their information, you're not going against the rules.
Okay. Oh, good to know. All right.
Yeah. All right. Okay, who else? Questions?
I have a question that, was I cutting someone off? I'm sorry.
Sydney.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you this via Voxer, but I figured maybe it'll be a good question for everybody. So I have an attorney that I did a cold call on like back in August, and he's a solo practice, or it's him and like one other guy that does a whole different type of law. And I, given him my little spiel, and he immediately was like, yes, I definitely need your services. I was like, oh, okay. And so I sent him my information, and there was crickets. So then every so often I will give him a call just to see, to kind of touch bases. But now I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out what is a more strategic approach for this particular attorney, because he has never told me go away.
So
and he is local.
Okay. So do your homework. Okay, look at his LinkedIn, look at his Facebook. What is he like? Do you see pictures of him on the golf course? Do you see pictures of him reading? What does he like?
He
And
has like nearly nothing online. He just
nothing.
has this picture that it looks a little bit awkward, but you know, so I was just like, okay, I don't know how to go with that.
Does he have a secretary? Have you talked to the secretary?
No, he is a solo practice. It is him.
Solo.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it's him and another attorney, but that's it.
Okay. So, I would see if you can make an appointment, to get, he's local, so you need to get in front of him.
Okay. The
And
one time,
I wouldn't just stop by his office because you'll never get through. But
okay.
say, hey, I'd love to make an appointment and bring you some coffee. What works for you?
So when I had originally tried that, he was like, well, really, you don't have to waste your time. I do need your services, I'm sure. And I was like, okay. And then when I had followed up with him previously, he was like, well, I have nothing, right now for you to be working on. Well, then today, because you had given us the brilliant ideas regarding how a legal nurse consultant can help with almost any lawyer, I had looked and saw that he does a bunch of stuff. And so I'm like, well, maybe I can give him a call and kind of ask about an interesting case, or I didn't know how to exactly pose it, but to get more information from him than just, yes, send me your CV. I'm like, okay.
Well, remember, you have to be the doctor. And so your job is to assess. And when they say, oh, I think I could use you, I have a, you need to go deeper. Okay, tell me about your most interesting case you have right now. Or
Okay.
what's your biggest struggle right now? Or, just because if you don't know see, they don't remember, attorneys don't learn about who legal nurse consultants are in law school. They have no clue. And so even today, after I've been doing this 26 years, it wasn't that long ago, an attorney says, oh, you do that too? I'm like, yeah, but it never came up. So, they don't know. They don't know how you can help. So you got to be the doctor and figure out what he's got going on. Does he have a
Okay.
trial coming up? Does he have depositions coming up? Does he need demand letters? Does he need medical research? I always say, like those legal nurse consultants who have the laundry list of all the services that they can provide is a big mistake. It's like, I'm sure you've all been to the Cheesecake Factory and they have that huge menu. How long does it take you to order? Because you have to, you're looking through that huge menu and you're like, well, what is this? I don't know what that is. Or I wonder if this would be good. And, a confused mind doesn't buy. A doctor never tells you, well, he'll give you, well, you can do nothing or you can do this. You can have surgery, that's all he says. And your job is to figure out what they need and then prescribe what you think would be in their best interest and the most help to them. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. And it gives me a lot more guidance and preparedness because I'm going to call him tomorrow because I know he'll probably answer because he's by himself. And it's like,
just say, hey, I got a minute. Can I bring you coffee?
And he'll probably say, oh, no, it's fine. And then I'll have to ask other questions from there.
Then let's get together and, well, what day works for you,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't just, you have to be somewhat, I don't want to say pushy, but they're busy. So you got to say, well, I'd love to meet with you. What works good for you? Instead of saying I'd love to, or instead of saying, can we meet? Okay. See the difference between can we meet and what time is good for you? Two different things. Okay.
Yes.
So
very
don't
true.
let them say no.
And that's why I keep calling him back. I'm like, one of these days.
Yeah, but you got to figure out what he needs so you can figure out how you can help him.
Yes, yeah, and that's
Okay.
that's what I
Because
was trying to figure out.
Yeah, because he, like, okay, go back to that attorney who gave me the 20,000 budget. Um, at first, she wanted me to do, chronologies just based on the provider. Okay, because she wanted to go to deposition with, you know, like she had depositions today, and she's like, I just need it based on the provider. And when I was doing that, I'm like, this isn't working right. I said to her, how about if we just come up with one chronology and you'll see the whole story and every visit she ever made. You can even do a like a calendar at trial about how many visits she's had and how much of her life has been taken away from her going to doctors and rehab and stuff like that. So so I said, why don't I just put this together? It'd be easier than to try and do it per provider, and we'll do it in Word so you can search the provider's name and know exactly all the entries with that provider. And she's like, oh, that's great. And so she's been so I just sent her um one the Wyvina did, and she did a great job. And she says, oh, this is great, this will work out well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when each of the people's parts are done, I'm going to put it together in one document in chronological order, so she knows everything this poor woman went through. And then when she goes to deposition, she can just search that. But she didn't know what she needed. She knew she needed a list of providers. She talked about organizing the records, and I'm like, well, you know, uh, I'm not sure you need that. So, um, so you're the doctor, you prescribe what you think is going to work. We tried it the other way. It didn't work so well. And I think this is going to be much better for her.
All right, thank you.
Okay, sure. Yeah, go for it. Go get him. But again, you got to know what he needs before, because if he says he can use you, what is he thinking he can use you for,
Yes, very true.
Yeah, and most legal nurse consultants, they're like, I can review a case for merit. And what if they don't have a case for merit? You would lose out on that business if you didn't know. And this attorney specifically wanted the chronology to help her with the depositions. I would, if I said I can review your case for merit, well, as long after that, she doesn't need a review for merits anymore. She needs the chronology to help her with depositions. Make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
that does.
All right. Let us know, okay, Sydney?
For sure.
Okay. So who else?
So
Questions?
Lori,
Yeah.
do you have a sample of a CV resume or a template with exactly what we need?
I
An
do for the
example.
experts, but I don't think you need one for an LNC, but there is a video on CVs for experts and LNCs and why they should be different.
Okay.
Okay. Because as an expert, you don't, I don't, in an expert CV, I don't want to see LNC on there because I don't want the jury to know that you have extra knowledge on how to testify, if you have a legal nurse consulting background. So I typically just put have people put the background, their experience, just a regular CV. Now, with regard to an LNC CV, it's all about, like, the attorney doesn't really care where you worked and when you work there. What they care about is, what are your skills? What are your strengths? What do what do you have to bring to the table? So the LNC CV can be a lot less than a regular CV. Okay, who else? Did that help you, Carla?
Sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
You're great.
Who
All of
else?
you are great.
She's our biggest cheerleader.
Keep giving us your wisdom. I need it. Hi,
Lori,
Eleanor.
Yeah.
hi. Um, And forgive me if this is on the portal and I just haven't made it that far.
Don't even,
But
that's what this call is here for.
what malpractice insurance do you recommend?
Okay, I recommend NSO and,
NSO.
but
Okay.
just in all transparency, we do, work for them. So if you had NSO and you had an Indiana case, likely my name would be on the list. But I'll tell you why I like NSO. One is they have a malpractice insurance specifically for LNCs. Do I think you need it? The question is your risk tolerance. Okay. I talked to David Griffiths, who's now the CEO of NSO. I'm so happy for him. And he said there's only been one case against an LNC since he's been there for like 20 years or whatever. He's been there a long time. There's only been one case, and that's where a nurse did a, what's it called? Certificate of merit in some states, they require a certificate of merit to file a case. I think Illinois is one of them. Delphine, that might be a really good area for you to do these certificate of merits. Excuse me one second. I'll drop something. Okay. So in a state that requires so she went ahead and talked about the physician standard of care. She has no right to do that in a certificate of merit. Now I review standards of care. I review physicians standards of care behind the scenes.
Right.
But I don't do it. I wouldn't do a certificate of merit with saying that
Right. Okay.
to a court that the doctor breached the standard of care.
Okay,
And
Lori.
Yeah, I need to get some water.
You can take a second. You don't have to
Mhm.
take a second and get better.
I'm fine. I don't know.
I know you called me a mother hen the other
No, I didn't.
day, and I am.
Okay.
You're a mother hen. I am. I am. No, I care about you.
Did I call you that?
You said
Well,
you're just but that's a compliment for me.
good. All right, so I'm on a roll here. Where was I? About
You were recovering.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Crystal, you asked me something.
Yeah.
sorry.
About NSO.
NSO. Okay, so
Yeah,
I like NSO for two reasons. One is they have an LNC product. It's up to you, if you feel it's your risk tolerance. But the second reason why I like it is because of professional licensing defense. They will reimburse you if you get reported to the board. And anybody can report you to the board. I have had ex-husbands, neighbors, you name it, report people to the board. And even if, like, for example, the board has to investigate. So I have a case now where the person was doing care management, like companion care. Nothing to do with nursing. She didn't do anything nursing related. And but the board was not happy because she billed a lot of money and they're trying to investigate her for elder fraud, which is, again, anybody can report you. So you might as well have that insurance to reimburse you. And it's not that expensive. Now, if you are an expert witness, many states have expert witness immunity. So because they don't want people to not want to be an expert witness because they could get sued. I did have one physician that I represented, as public record. I'm not going to share anything confidential, and you'll have to figure out what state it's in. But he testified that he was a member of this organization, and the attorney looked it up and saw he was not a member and turned him over to the board. And the attorney general, who's on the other side of the case, was not. She was like, he's falsifying, he's bolstering his qualifications for a hearing and whatnot. And the he said he thought he was a member. He was a founding member, a charter member, and his assistant pays all the memberships. And so he had fully believed that she had paid the membership. And he even had like a certificate of membership that didn't have an expiration date that on the wall that he made me a copy of. So in his mind, he had that qualification. He was a founding member, and you know, we don't know what happened, whether his secretary just didn't pay it or what. But they were trying to say, no, he's bolstering his qualifications based on this membership. And we went to a pre-hearing settlement conference, and the board member just raked the attorney general under the coals, saying, why are you bringing this case? This is ridiculous. So that was a good result. But a lot of states do have expert witness immunity. You wouldn't have immunity with the board, but you'd have immunity otherwise.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, who else? Who else can I help?
So Lori, you speaking of a certificate of merit, and so what as an LNC do we do? We just review the records and certify that it has merit?
You have to do an affidavit of merit.
Affidavit of merit.
Right. And the attorney probably has a form and can show it to you. And I'm going to look it up. Okay, there. So an affidavit of merit is a sworn statement in medical malpractice lawsuits requiring a qualified independent healthcare professional to confirm the case isn't frivolous. So you can sign, you can write an affidavit of merit, especially if it's against another NP or a nurse. But you wouldn't want to do it for another, you wouldn't want to do it for somebody, for a doctor.
Okay.
Okay. I was trying to find a form to see if there is something, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, so what other questions do we have? Tina, how you doing? Sally K. Tina is a good one to talk to too. She's in long-term care. She's a geriatric NP. She's phenomenal. Okay, good. Okay, who else? Who else can I help?
I have no question yet, but I'm enjoying listening the experience of other CL and legal nurse consultant.
Okay, great.
So Lori, I found out how many attorneys are going to be at that seminar. You had asked me that. She said around 140, but depending on how the weather is, because in Montana it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
February. She said some of them would be attending remote, but she said you're right across from the check-in desk and you'll just have to kind of like have them, bring them to your booth.
Yeah. First, so you're gonna want to have like snacks and stuff. If you're not by the food, bring snacks. I was across the hall from the registration at the Travel Nurses Conference, and it was a very bad spot for me because you went to the you registered, and then the next door was the exhibit hall. So people registered and went to the exhibit hall instead of looking across. Then I'm sitting there. So ask them if they have a way to encourage people to come to your booth. For example, at some of the conferences I've been to, they have like a bingo thing where you have to get stamps from every booth. And then they are entered into a drawing. So what do they have to ensure they're going to come to see you? And then do you get the list ahead of time? Can you email the list and say, hey, I'm excited to, or send a postcard and say, I'm excited to meet you at the Montana, whatever. Come to my booth. I have a free gift for you. Okay.
She talked about, yeah, great idea. She also talked about maybe putting kind of an ad in their flyer or whatever that I was going to be there. She would talk to me about that.
Okay.
So anyway. So I did get hold of her after I talked to you yesterday. I called her right back. She answered.
Oh, good, good. Okay,
So thank you.
good. You're welcome. And 140 people's excellent. I love that. Will you
Mhm.
be able to speak for 2 minutes and introduce yourself to everybody in the room?
I don't know that.
Ask for that too.
Okay.
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 I went to one of my masterminds was exhibiting at a malpractice trial lawyers association meeting. There were 25 people. That's it. 25 people. And she was able to give a 2-minute pitch, and she was amazing. She talked about her experience as a juror. And then she wound up sitting in the back of the room with this attorney from Kentucky, and he wound up giving her 7 cases.
Wow.
So, yeah. So you never know. You never know. But surround yourself where there's the most number of people that do the work you want to do. But don't just leave it at that. It's all in the follow-up. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Who else? The more you ask, the more you get. For those of you who are not making the calls, not getting the referrals, what's stopping you? Well, get it out on the table. This is a safe place, whatever it is.
Time, Lori,
Yeah,
time.
Lori. What's stopping you?
Because I'm working and sometimes the time schedule is conflicting. Yeah, and especially now I have to do the recertification for, NRP. So once I'm done with that, then I kind of feel a little bit better because right now I'm thinking about that and then because I have to do it soon.
Yeah.
But I
So
promise I will call lawyers.
so I do that too. I'm like, oh, my life will be so much better when this is over. Or
Mhm.
when, like the event was huge for me to, put that thing together. I'm like, I'll be able to breathe after that. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So I call it the and conversation. You get to study for your test and grow your business. So
Okay.
because we can all sometimes we just think we can only do one thing, and we have so much more capacity than the one thing. So just schedule it out and make sure you have 4 hours of sacred time to grow your business. Don't put it in the closet, Eleanor.
Okay.
Don't put your
All
baby in the
right.
closet.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, Lori, thank you.
Yeah, Sally K, I always say your business is your baby. You can't put it in the closet and ignore it. You have to feed it, and otherwise they're going to call CPS on you.
Thank you, Lori.
ABM, always be marketing, as I say.
Okay.
Okay. Who else? What's in your way?
For me, it's fear.
Mhm.
I think, oh, I don't want to bother him. Or if I have called, when I have called, I can't get past the gatekeeper. And then I'm like, never mind, they're so busy, and so then I reason out of it. And really, when you think about it, we don't need 100 attorneys as
No.
clients. We just need 3 or 5 good ones that give us back cases. And so I was thinking about what you said, about make those 10 calls and, you'll get one. And I was like, I only need like 3 to 5 that are just, trust me and love the product. And I don't know. And what's the worst they can say is no. But really deep down, if I'm really honest, it just kills me. It kills me that they would say no or that I would be bothering them. So I just need to plow through it.
You're breaking up a little bit, but Sally K, let me ask you something. When you were a baby, were you afraid?
Oh, wait, I didn't hear you. I think you were muted. Sorry.
I said, when you were a baby, were you afraid? You were? As a newborn baby, you were afraid?
Probably not. But when I was a
Not.
little bit bigger, I was a scaredy cat.
Okay, but all of the fear is learned. Okay.
Yes, you're
If
right.
I
That's
if I put a gun to a baby's head, they're gonna laugh. They don't know what a gun is.
That's
I went
true.
to no, it was Thailand. And I was at an event and I met these two women. One was from England and one was from Sri Lanka. And we were in I think we got an Uber or something, I don't know. And we wanted to go see the monkeys. And there was this one area where the monkeys are all on the side of the road. And so we saw the monkeys and I jump out of the car and I was like, oh, they're so cute. And the girl from England is out there with me and the monkeys are like trying to grab my purse and whatnot. But they were so cute and so adorable. And the woman from Sri Lanka is in the car terrified because in Sri Lanka, they have monkeys and she was always taught to stay away from them. So it's what you learn. We had no fear because we never had that experience with monkeys. So take it from a newborn perspective. There's nothing to fear. What did they say? There's a famous quote, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. You know? Okay. All
Now I
right.
have a question.
Okay,
I
good.
just I just remember. So let's say I call a attorney and then they call back and they say, "Hey, Eleanor, I have a case for you. It's all about, let's say, elderly or about neuro, but my experience is NICU. So how should I respond with that?" Or they said, "Oh, okay, I'll take it." And then, but I gonna call CLNC, who is neuro.
You've got
Uh,
this whole group of people to help you, but
okay.
you are a nurse. You know, you pass the NCLEX, and babies have neuro too. So I
Yeah.
think, you know,
It's
I
just an
think,
example.
yeah, I think you're going to be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. And you did a great affidavit for me and an adult.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't take, or I always say, don't block the abundance. If somebody wants to give you a case, like I never worked OB. I worked there once. I was floated there, and I had a hyperemesis gravidarum patient, and they ordered. They were going to do a bedside insertion of a central line, and I sunk an NG, and the other nurses are like, "How did you do that? I look like some hero because I assisted the doctor to put a central line in, and these nurses never do that, but." It doesn't matter, you know, so anyways, I get OB cases and now I think I'm pretty good at OB, even though I never worked in it. So again, you know how to learn, you know how to get the resources, you know how to ask each other for help. Susan Hyback in our group, she had an ER case and she asked one of the masterminds who did ERs for some help on it, and she gave her some pointers. And that attorney settled the case pre-suit for $3 million. And of course, now Susan walks on water because she helped him with it. Okay. So don't block the abundance. You have plenty of resources. You know how to research yourself. You can absolutely do this.
Thank you.
If they give you something that you feel completely uncomfortable with and you can't get the help you need, I'd be shocked. And you can come here and bring the case and we can grand rounds the case. So you have everything you need to succeed. You just have to get the cases.
Thank you,
Okay?
Lori.
Sure.
Thank you.
Eleanor, actually last week I did a case. It was a nursing home case, but the the patient died of pneumonia. Like he developed sepsis and died of pneumonia. And this facility's execution of aspiration precautions was just terrible. It was just terrible. But not one physician in that hospital or a radiology report said anything about aspiration. However, I knew as a nurse the radiology report could scream aspiration pneumonia. It's just, it depends on the interpretation, and it depends on the radiologist whether or not he wants to say possible aspiration. So anyway, I was very, very apprehensive to say that this facility did anything wrong and link this, because the physicians didn't say anything about aspiration. Anyway, long story short, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because I have a connection with a speech pathologist on LinkedIn, and I reached out to her and said, listen, I need a way to link these two together. And I wasn't finding exactly what I needed in my research. And she said, oh, I've got the perfect article for you. Here it is. And it was exactly what I needed. I was able to put that into my summary. Even though they didn't say aspiration, there is a possibility that the radiology report could be, aspiration pneumonia. And here's the research. And so that went over really well. So yeah, reach out, even if you need someone other than a nurse, like a speech pathologist, you can find them.
Thank you.
And
Mhm.
like people in this group know people. We all know people. Like for example, Susan's daughter is a registered dietitian, So everything you need is in the group. Everything. You just have to ask. And so again, I always say the more you ask, the more you're gonna get. And it's okay to ask. That's what we're here for. You remember that beginner's mindset where you need, if you need, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You have this. You can absolutely do this, and we're here to support you. So who else? Who else?
Attorney names. That's all.
Vina, did you say something?
Yes. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up a little bit.
How about now?
You're still, maybe it's the ear, do you have Apple AirPods or something?
Well, it's Bluetooth, but
Yeah, it might be that. You're trying to hook up on your computer directly. Okay. Yeah, and there's no such thing as a stupid question, that ask away. The more you ask, the more you're going to get, the more you're going to learn. And that's it, just like you wouldn't at work. You wouldn't, you're like, why are you ordering this, doctor? Do you have a question? Dr. Lenny?
I have a plan before calling the attorney.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna make fun of myself and see what stupid I will able to, say something and then make it laugh out of it and then take it as an experience. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm gonna call this lawyer. What he gonna ask me or what I gonna answer, whatever it is, I gonna laugh out of it. I mean, of course, after the conversation, just to make me feel happy, or write it down what did I do wrong and make it better. So I will
Yeah,
not be I will not be scared.
yeah, don't make fun of yourself though, because you have so much knowledge to share, and you want to be professional. I mean, you'll get to the point where you can joke and have fun with the attorneys, but for now I would just like keep it professional. But if you do say something that doesn't sound quite right, you can make a joke about it. You're creating a relationship, to have fun with it. And let them know, like, and trust you, so they want to do business with
Okay,
you. Yeah.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. My background. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, you have everything you need here. So, Wivina, did you get your sound fixed? Oh, Jerlene, you have another question or you have a question? Go ahead.
Question. Share with me. And for me, it's energy. Like,
Energy.
I feel very listless today. Right before the phone call, I've spent a really good chunk of my day sleeping, but my schedule has been very all over the place. And I'll share what happened briefly last week because Lori already knows. I was doing 2 contracts, and the contract that had made me the most money and was a steady contract, a patient came in and pickpocketed me. The patient came in with a bleeding hand wound, was dressed in black from head to toe, 6'4" with a ski mask, and he refused to take the ski mask off and needed to be treated. And when I called the cops to let them know that he had pickpocketed me and I caught him with my phone in his hands, they were annoyed that I called, and they kept telling me, like, they eventually told me that this man was well known to their system, gets arrested frequently, puts holes in their police cars, menaces people in the community. They asked me if I wanted to write a complaint. I said yes, because he stared down my ID. I'm pretty sure he has my name ingrained in his brain. And when I did, the police officer cursed at him for making him do work because he decided to pickpocket me.
Oh,
So I was like, it is not safe for me to go back. And Lori knows that I want to say in the last 4 months, this is probably the 4th contract that's not working out for whatever reason. The first one fell through. The second contract, my hospital closed abruptly. I want to say less than 2 weeks from coming back from the litigation west. And then I got shuffled to another hospital that's farther, but they can cancel me anytime, and it's a place that's infested with roaches. And then this happened, and I had sent Lori a message last week that she's going to be seeing a very different version of me now. However, today was like maybe the first day after being off, because I did my other contract. I do 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off. And then my schedule flip-flops, so they'll flip-flop me from 7 to 9A. And it's just very hectic. It's very hard to manage my energy, especially the day after I just finished a slew of shifts. So for me, it's managing energy. And then once I do have that energy, focusing on what I need to focus on for the business. So today is like the first day that I can say I just have this one job, and then I have to do the marketing. And I do have the files open, and I've started looking through the case to do the chronology. But for me, it would be managing energy.
okay.
Because
So
it's not
first
like I
of
didn't
all-
commit before.
Yeah. So let's talk about energy management, because I have that issue too. And I actually was just there's a 3-day event going on right now. It happens to be in my backyard. And the person whose event it is Jim Quick, Kwik. And he wrote a book called Limitless, which is absolutely amazing. And he says, take your meds: meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. And so, and of course, use natural meds like sunshine, water, rest, air, exercise, diet. So I would ask yourself, one is your energy being depleted because you are doing too much, or is your energy being depleted because you want to avoid something? Okay. Because I know if there's things that I have to do, that I don't want to do, I get really, really tired to avoid it. And it's like, oh, I got to sleep to take care of myself. No, you gotta, your moods are not a good business owner. So, I would, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I do IVs. I get IV with the vitamins. I do the immune recovery, and I do it probably once a month, sometimes twice a month. It gives me energy. So, and then your diet is the most important. I know, I have fallen off the wagon since my mom died and just haven't ate properly until Friday. This Friday, I had a experience that woke me. Was it this Friday or the last Friday? It just an experience that it was the last Friday a week ago, but it really woke me up. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do in my life if I don't take care of myself and I don't have the energy. So I went right back onto healthy eating and exercise and doing things that are going to benefit me. So, if you don't have energy, ask yourself, am I doing everything I can to maintain my energy? Because success leaves clues, and the same things that are going to give you energy and have you be successful are the same tools that are going to help you be successful in your business. If you think about weight loss, it's the same thing. You have to have an intention to lose weight. You've got to follow the eating plan. So you have to follow the marketing plan. It's the same thing. The success. You can't go to the gym one day and think, oh, look at my muscles. No, it's a series of predictable events that will get you to that result. So it's just like a diet. One day on the diet isn't going to do any good, but following it, but over time it will. So you just have to do the things that you need to do every day to get the results that you want. Make sense? And then in terms of energy, you got to take care of yourself. That is number one. There's just no way around it. And I swear the older I get, the harder it is, but I find ways. I find ways like, the IVs or whatever it is to help me achieve optimal health and optimal wellness. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Why No. Do you want to put it in the chat? Or are you okay? You're okay. Okay. I want to hear what's the most important thing you learned. Jenny, you want to go first?
Just have to have experience and background of the case in order to participate in the case. And it's funny because I think somebody at and I can't even remember her name. But she was sitting in front of me. She's like, if you ever have any OB cases, let me know. And a part of me was just like, but I don't have OB experience. I don't know why she's telling me this. And now I know.
So what you would do is you would use her to subcontract. You'd use her to subcontract. If there's a case that you don't understand or have the background, take the case, don't block the abundance, but have somebody else do it. And then I would double check, I would have somebody else and this is a good practice for all of you, have somebody review your work product just to make sure that there's no typos or anything like that. Embarrassingly, I may have said this story before, I dictate everything. And my first submission was transcribed lumber, Lumber, lumbar spine. And it was like, thank God I had somebody proof it. And she's like, isn't that spelled wrong? I'm like, oh my God, it's all over this thing. And the attorneys may not meet you in person. You may talk to them on the phone and get a referral, and you may never meet them in person. But it is your name and your reputation is based on your work product. So at least don't make errors in things that you can control, with spelling and things like that. Okay. All right, Carla, most important thing you learned.
Um, I don't know. I listened to everybody and got some great ideas. I really don't know how to pinpoint one right now. I just
Well, the reason why I asked the question is not to hear if I was coming across so well, but it's just a good wrap up for
I
everybody has
understand.
different things that they learn from. So if you don't have anything, that's cool.
Well, I did learn a lot. I just can't.
Figure out the one most important thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you gave me a lot of good. You guys gave me a lot of good hints, and
And you learn from everybody, don't you? Not just,
yes,
yeah, that's the
yes, yes,
reason why the group
definitely.
is so incredible. Yeah,
Thank you, Lori. If I think of something, I'll raise my hand.
perfect.
Mhm.
All right, Sally K, did we scare you away?
Heck no, because I'm not going to be scared anymore. No,
Yay!
what I learned about
Hey, you have my permission to put the scaredy cat in the closet, not the business, just the scaredy cat.
perfect. No, what I found valuable tonight that I'm really just been thinking about as everybody's talking, love to hear all the examples, but that fear is learned, and am I going to let that dictate my life? So no. So I'm going to be courageous and just do it. And then the second thing was an aha for me is asking them actually what their budget is. That is new for me, a thought process. And so valuable. I've just enjoyed this hour. So thank you, everybody.
Good, I'm so glad. Okay, Delphine, are you here?
I am. I learned one. I'm sorry. About certificates of merit. So
Mhm.
that's I've heard about it, but I never knew what that was, or affidavit of merit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I
The
learned.
same thing, the certificate of merit, affidavit of merit.
Oh, okay,
And
they're out.
yeah, and Delphine, that's a great thing for you to market too. Because
Okay.
you're an NP, you can do it. So I would say, and by the way, and because the attorney needs that affidavit of merit to file a case.
Okay.
Mhm.
So see how valuable it is? They can't even file it without one.
Awesome.
Okay, great.
So I'll add that to the list of things that I can do for attorneys.
Yeah, but don't give them the Cheesecake Factory menu.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Trying to drink at the same time. It does not work. Okay. All right, Wyvina, most important thing you learned. Mm.
I'm with Sally K. Can you hear me?
Sort of. But I see what you wrote that
Yeah.
after completing a couple of attorney calls, why was I so nervous? Right. Like the first time you start an IV, you're freaking out. Can I do this? Am I going to get in the vein? And now you can start an IV on a turnip or a rock, you know? Uh, okay, Eleanor, your turn. Most important thing you learned.
Oh, persistent and keep following up, keep
And
calling. Yeah.
consistency. Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't always be marketing. Perfect. Krista, you.
Um, a new thought process on the budget, asking them for a budget. I think that's very valuable. Yep. And to everyone, just to piggyback what you were all saying, if I ever get a NICU or an OB case, I'm gonna send it right on to you guys because I am scared of those types of cases myself.
Well, you got plenty of,
Oh yeah.
everything you need's in this group. Everything.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Tina, how about you?
There we go. All right. Yeah, so I was listening to everyone, and it just occurred to me, I never thought of calling an attorney every other day. I know that sounds like really basic, but in my mind, I was thinking, well, wouldn't that be excessive? Wouldn't that be like stalking? And I thought about it and I said, well, maybe not, because people do that to me all the time. Drug reps, salespeople. And I realize that what you're doing is you're offering help. You're not stalking. So
Right.
just the idea of, wait, I can call them more than once a week was an epiphany for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cynthia, in our group, she called this attorney 41 times. She wasn't going to call again. And then she saw something in the Facebook group saying, make the call. And so she pulled over. I don't know why she's checking Facebook driving, but she pulled over and she made the call. And this attorney wound up to be now is her biggest client. The whole firm works with her. She does lunch and learns with them. And she said to him, she said to the attorney, she said, I've called before. And the attorney says, you have? Well, maybe I got a message or two. They're so busy. If you call every other day, they are not going to know or even be aware of it. So you are not bugging them. You're being of service. And you do have a valuable service to offer because they don't know the medicine like you guys. They don't know it all. And they need you. So for Cynthia, when she finally got through to that attorney, the attorney was knee deep in records. She had no idea what to do with them. And Cynthia's like, I can do this, this, and this for you. And you can't imagine this attorney's relief. Oh, take it off my plate. Just like the attorney who has all these depositions that we're helping. Many of you in the group are helping. And she has she for her $20,000 to get the work done. She's thrilled. She's absolutely thrilled. And of course, she'll be more thrilled when I come in a lot less. Okay. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to call every other day. You're not bugging them. So thanks, Tina. Okay. I want to turn off the recorder and share some stuff with you. So I'm going to turn this off. Okay.